Across North America's fields, where golden wheat once stretched as far as the eye could see, a quiet transformation is taking place. And out on the world's oceans, the flow of grain is shifting course. A subtle but dramatic change is underway, rippling across continents. Ships that once left American ports heavy with wheat are now being turned away, their holds empty, as international buyers look north to Canada for their grain supplies. This isn't just a temporary setback. It's a major shift in global trade, shaking the foundations of farming communities and raising tough questions for the future of U.S. agriculture. Headlines now tell of canceled orders and rejected shipments not as isolated incidents but as part of a growing, troubling trend that's hard to ignore. For decades, the U.S. was the world's wheat powerhouse, especially for Asian markets, with American grain feeding millions overseas. Now those long-standing relationships are unraveling, leaving uncertainty in their wake. The reasons are complex. Politics, economics, and unpredictable weather have collided, creating a perfect storm for American farmers and exporters. It's a story about livelihoods, American farmers facing vanished markets, mounting uncertainty, and difficult choices about their future. Meanwhile, Canadian farmers are seizing new opportunities, stepping in to fill the gap and expand their reach in the global market. This shift reveals just how interconnected our world is, where decisions in one country can change the price of bread in another, thousands of miles away. We'll explore why U.S. wheat is being rejected, and what's driving buyers to look elsewhere. We'll see the impact on American farmers, their families, and the communities that depend on them. And we'll uncover why Canada is now the preferred supplier, and what that means for the future of North American agriculture. By piecing together the facts, we'll see what this upheaval means for the future of farming, the global food supply, and the people who depend on it every day. This is a story of competition, resilience, and the ever-changing landscape of global trade, told through the remarkable journey of a single grain of wheat from field to table. The main reason for U.S. wheat rejection? China. But the story goes deeper than just a single country's decision. Once a top buyer, China has slashed its grain imports by over 50% in just a year, with U.S. shipments dropping even further. This dramatic shift has sent shockwaves through the American agricultural sector, leaving exporters scrambling for answers. This isn't about wheat quality, it's about politics and economics making U.S. grain less attractive. Tariffs, trade wars, and shifting alliances have all played a role in souring the relationship. Trade relies on trust and predictability, but recent disputes and policy swings have made American wheat a risky bet. Buyers are wary of sudden changes that could disrupt their supply chains. China's own record harvests mean it simply doesn't need as much foreign grain, especially from a politically tense partner. Domestic production is now meeting most of its needs. With full warehouses, China can afford to be selective, turning away U.S. shipments without risking shortages. This gives them leverage in negotiations and more control over their food security. This new self-sufficiency is a game-changer, shifting power in the global food market. Other countries are watching and adjusting their own strategies. The U.S. is no longer the only major player. Buyers have more choices, and American farmers are left with unsold crops. The competition is fiercer than ever. Political tensions, China's bumper harvests, and new suppliers have created a tough reality for U.S. agriculture. Farmers are feeling the pressure as global dynamics shift. In global trade, nothing is guaranteed. A secure market can vanish overnight. The landscape can change with a single policy or harvest. For American farmers, this means learning to adapt fast or risk being left behind. Innovation and flexibility are now essential for survival. The world's grain market is moving on, and the U.S. must find its place in this new order. Staying competitive will require new strategies and partnerships. The lesson: in international trade, power and demand can shift in an instant. Only those who adapt quickly will thrive in this ever-changing landscape. The U.S.-China trade war is a key reason buyers are turning away from American wheat. What once was a reliable partnership has become fraught with uncertainty, as global tensions spill over into the agricultural marketplace. Tariffs, taxes on imports, have made U.S. wheat more expensive for Chinese buyers, pushing them to seek cheaper alternatives. These added costs ripple through the supply chain, making American wheat less competitive on the world stage. Even when trade truces happen, the damage is done. Buyers see the U.S. as unpredictable. The reputation for reliability built over decades is now in question. The constant threat of new tariffs creates instability, and in business, instability is a deal breaker. Companies need to plan for the future, but uncertainty makes that nearly impossible. China has responded by diversifying its food sources, buying more from Brazil and Canada. These new partnerships are strengthening, and American farmers are left watching from the sidelines. This isn't just about wheat, it's a strategic move to protect China's food security from future shocks. By spreading out its suppliers, China is building a buffer against global disruptions. For American farmers, the trade war has meant lost markets and broken trust built over decades. Many are left wondering if those markets will ever fully return. The tariffs have acted like a wall, blocking access to one of the world's largest markets. Years of effort to open doors have been undone almost overnight. The result? Lost income, uncertainty, and a long road to rebuilding relationships, even if tariffs disappear tomorrow. The scars of this conflict will linger for years. Politics has directly interfered with the free market, and farmers far from the negotiating table are paying the price. Their livelihoods are at the mercy of decisions made thousands of miles away. The bitter harvest of this trade war is more than lost sales. It's the loss of trust that may take years to restore. Trust, once broken, is not easily rebuilt in international trade. The lesson: global politics can upend local livelihoods in an instant, leaving entire communities to pick up the pieces and hope for a more stable future. Beyond politics, China's record wheat harvest in 2024 is reshaping the market. Years of investment in modern farming and food security have paid off. China now grows enough to feed itself. With overflowing granaries, importing expensive US wheat makes little sense. This self-sufficiency is a core national policy, insulating China from global disruptions and reducing reliance on imports. For American farmers, even an end to the trade war might not bring China back as a major buyer. The world's biggest market has changed its approach, and exporters must adapt to this new reality. For American farmers, this isn't just a market shift, it's a personal crisis. Surplus wheat and plunging prices are pushing many to the brink of financial ruin. The uncertainty makes it nearly impossible to plan for the future, what to plant, how much, or whether to invest at all. The problem extends beyond wheat. Corn and soybean exports to China have also collapsed, with Brazil stepping in to fill the gap. This is a systemic issue, affecting the entire U.S. agricultural export sector. Farmers feel abandoned, caught in a political conflict they didn't create. Generations of hard work and tradition are at risk, as access to global markets is cut off by tariffs and geopolitics. The emotional toll is as real as the financial one. The plight of the American farmer is a stark reminder. Global politics can have deeply personal consequences. In this new world, resilience and adaptability are more important than ever. The future of American agriculture depends on how quickly it can adjust to these new realities. As U.S. farmers struggle, Canadian farmers are seizing the moment. International buyers, led by China, are turning to Canada for high-quality, reliable wheat. Canada's stable trade relationships and reputation for dependability make it the new go-to supplier. Its prairies produce the hard red spring wheat prized in Asian markets, and its western ports offer direct shipping to Asia. Canada's political stability and efficient logistics give buyers confidence their contracts will be honored. This isn't just a temporary shift, it could be a long-term realignment of global trade. As new relationships form, buyers may not return to the U.S. even if politics improve. For Canada, this is a moment of growth and opportunity, cementing its place as a key player in the global food system. One country's loss has become another's gain. The numbers reveal the scale of this upheaval. U.S. farm exports to China fell 14% in 2024 after a 20% drop the year before, a worsening trend. Wheat exports to China briefly peaked, but with China's own harvests, future U.S. shipments are set to plunge. Corn exports to China collapsed from $2.6 billion to just $561 million in a year. Brazil now supplies over 70% of China's soybeans, while the U.S. share has shrunk to just 21%. The shipping industry feels the pain too. Fewer grain shipments mean global shipping rates have plummeted. The Baltic Panamax Index, tracking shipping costs, dropped 41% in early 2025. Meanwhile, Canada's wheat exports are surging, filling the vacuum left by the U.S. The statistics tell a clear story. A major realignment is underway, with new winners and losers in the global grain market. The ripple effects stretch from American farms to shipping lanes across the world. The U.S. wheat crisis signals a broader transformation in global trade. Food is now a political tool, and national security concerns are reshaping supply chains. Countries are diversifying suppliers, making the market more fragmented and complex. No supplier is immune. China even suspended Brazilian soybean shipments over contamination, showing how quickly politics can disrupt trade. This new environment could make the system more resilient but also more volatile. Export bans and sudden restrictions may become more common, leading to price spikes and shortages. The era of smooth, predictable food flows may be over. For the U.S., this is a wake-up call. It must rebuild trust, foster stable relationships, and seek new markets. The ripple effects of rejected wheat will force a rethink of America's role in the global food system. Adapting to this new world is now essential for survival. America's rejected wheat and Canada's rise reveal the fragility of global trade. A mix of trade wars, tariffs, and China's self-sufficiency has left U.S. farmers with unsold grain and uncertain futures. Canada's stability and quality have made it the new favorite, and buyers may not return to the U.S. soon. The future for American farmers depends on adaptation, diversifying crops, finding new markets, and pushing for stable trade policies. Rebuilding trust will be slow, but it's essential. The global food market is now more complex and volatile, as countries prioritize their own security. The journey of a single grain of wheat shows how politics and ambition can reshape the world. The challenge ahead: navigate this new landscape and plant seeds for a secure, prosperous future.